And let's talk about some of these issues facing the EU with Cui Hongjian, who joins us in Beijing. He's the Director of European Studies at the China Institute of International Studies. Mr. Cui, it's good to see you with us. First of all, why is it so difficult for the EU to reach a common solution on the energy crisis?
Yes, as we know now, European countries are facing a serious energy crisis. I think now, of course, this summit for European Union is trying to get some more common actions to deal with these challenges. But as we know, always it's difficult for every member state to reach a consensus because not only because there are very differences between among the member states on the energy structure and also the very different the goal of the energy transformation. Also at the same time, how could European Union, do something for member states? It's also a very big question because as we know that so far the energy issues are still a part of competence for member states, not competence for European Union. But this time, I think that European Union summit tried to do something to get some more competence from member states, including to build up the energy reserve, just like President von der Leyen mentioned, and also at the same time maybe some more system or mechanism to help the member state to deal with this, so far the uphill of the energy market, especially how to stop some hot money to enter into this energy market. I think all of the things are on the table of the European Union.
So now the problem of Poland and the challenge to the primacy of EU law. So we have a number of EU leaders calling for concrete pressure on Poland, including financial sanctions. And then there's Poland's prime minister saying this is blackmail. And he does have supporters like Hungary, who also see EU powers as overreaching. So what do you think about this? Is this political bickering or does the EU need reforms?
I think both of them. As we know, since the ruling party in Poland took office 6 years ago, we witnessed a lot of the disputes between Poland and the European Union, and also at the same time, not only Poland and Hungary, some other Central and Eastern European countries. I think it shows a very big or very important problem for the European Union, how to deal with diversity, requirement, especially how to make clear what's the competence between member states and the European Union. So far, as we know, the very hot issue between Poland and the European Union is if there is any authority for European Union to deal with some internal affairs in Poland or some other countries. Also, at the same time, I think that for European Union, some reform needed, especially how to cover more various requirements from member states.
And the other big issue, Mr. Cui, the migration problem, and von der Leyen has basically called what Belarus is doing state-sponsored smuggling, helping illegal migrants cross into other EU neighbors. What's the solution here?
As we know, since the year of 2015, how to deal with refugee or immigrant issues has been a shadow for the European Union. As we know, so far, it's failed for European Union to try to establish a pan-European Union system to deal with migrants and also refugee issue. Recently, as we know, not only because of the Afghanistan crisis, and also because of the some member states of the European Union, they do have some disputes with Belarus on this refugee issue. It has become more and more urgent for European Union to deal with it. But so far, if we look at the conclusion from this summit, it looks like there are not so many solutions for European Union could do to deal with this refugee issue. On one hand, yes, European Union criticized Belarus or some other countries to weaponize refugee or migrants to damage the interests of the European Union. But on the other hand, besides to upgrade sanctions against Belarus, and there are not some other, solutions could be made by European Union. I think that the major problem or challenge for European Union to deal with the refugee issue is before European Union can do something more, European Union itself should have a more common ground and also consensus for all of the member states to reform its refugee and migrant system. Otherwise, there will not be a long-term or sustainable solution for European Union.
Thank you so much for your insights. Cui Hongjian, Director of the European Studies at the China Institute of International Studies. Appreciate it.